Celestia Chain of Fate is an upcoming fantasy Otome visual novel. I was lucky enough to receive the game early, courtesy of P-Cube, so thank you P-Cube. I hope after this video, it will give you some idea of whether this game is one that you yourself would like to play. Now, to avoid spoilers because it is a visual novel, I'm only going to show footage from chapter 1 and also keep details to a minimum. That being said, let's get started. Celestia Chain of Fate is a fantasy romance otome. For those unfamiliar with the genre, otome games are essentially visual novels in which you are the female protagonist and generally you date or romance one of the male leads. Who that ends up being depends on the choices you make during your playthrough. This allows for multiple playthroughs to see all the different endings. Some of the endings can be good, and there are also usually bad endings as well. Because it is a visual novel, the gameplay is simple. You read the novel, and when choices arise, you choose one. There's nothing more to it. I did find that choices started to come up rather frequently in parts, and I would have preferred the story flow to continue more, especially if the choices did not affect any of the relationships. Another negative was that I couldn't find an autoplay option. I tried pressing all the different buttons and the usual suspects, but unfortunately I had to manually press to progress each part of dialogue. Now onto the most important part of any visual novel, the story. For those that want zero spoilers, feel free to skip this section. Everyone else, I will keep the spoilers to a minimum. The story opens with a grand fairy tale of an angel and a demon being in love only to be torn apart by their respective families. With no happily ever after in sight, the fairy tale states that this couple's baby must be entrusted to others in the human world. After hearing this tale, you come to realize it is the protagonist Aria's favourite story. Aria is almost an adult, and as the daughter of a duke, she is to celebrate her coming of age with a lavish party. It is at this party that her simple world is turned upside down. Not only was that fairy tale from her childhood true, but she's also the baby from this story. Add to this that magic is very real in this world and you have all the ingredients for an exciting story. Now the reason that this was all uncovered and this secret exposed was due to Aria receiving an invitation to attend Celestia Academy, a school where humans, angels and daemons all study magic together. It is at this school where you are introduced to the three male leads you can have romance with. Ash the human, Angelus Luke, and Daemon Val. Ash is the cool prince type, Luke is the cute and sweet boy, and Val is the hot-headed man. The game plays into these character stereotypes, so if none of them take your fancy, it might not be as fun for you to read through. This is all I will cover in detail of the story. With that said, I did enjoy this story immensely. It was cute, and although it had some weird sentences from time to time, it is a solid indie otome story that is worth playing if you do enjoy the genre. Celestia Chain of Fate is a pretty game. Apart from when recording footage, I did play the game in handheld on Nintendo Switch and the game held up well. The characters themselves had distinct portraits and they really matched the personalities given to them in the game. I did enjoy the variety of backgrounds and locations during the game as well. I do think some of the images may not have been as sharp as they could have been overall, but I was happy with the visuals nonetheless. The text in Celestia Chain of Fate was all easy to read apart from a couple of sections where it appeared without the darkened background. The background music was wonderful. I actually really enjoyed listening to the whimsical tracks that accompanied the scenes. It did have this air of magic throughout the music. The disappointment came with the lack of voice acting. Now, not everyone likes voice acting in visual novels, and oftentimes they don't get English dubs even when they are voiced. Seeing as this is a smaller title, it makes sense that this would not be in the game. I just am always hopeful for it as I am somebody who enjoys listening to the story as it unfolds. Celestia Chain of Fate is a charming otome visual novel. It will definitely appeal to current Otome fans, and it does have an easy enough to follow story that newcomers to the genre should be able to find it appealing as well. I am pretty comfortable recommending this one as I had an enjoyable time reading through the story. Just keep in mind it does have more of that indie feel or AA game feel to it. I hope you found this review helpful, and don't forget to check out the game when it releases on September 12th, 2024. Bye bye!